I'm going to record this one. Guys, we are looking at Gbpusd, right? We are looking at Gbpusd. And let me see everyone writing Gbpusd on the comment section so that everyone can be aware what pair we're looking at. We are going to be analyzing GBP USD. GBP Everyone write GBPUSD on the comment section. Let me see everyone writing GBPUSD. Let me see everyone writing GBPUSD. Don't forget, you don't stop tapping the screen, right? Let me see everyone writing GBPUSD. Let me see everyone. I want to see everyone writing GBPUSD. Let me see everybody writing GBPUSD on the comment section. I want to see you guys writing GBPUSD. It's only one person who's writing GBPUSD. I want to see everyone writing GBPUSD. We are starting now, so that everyone can be aware which pair we are analyzing. I want to see everyone writing GBPUSD. Keep writing GBPUSD, everybody. Guys, this is the monthly time frame, right? We are going to do a top-down analysis using the systematic BCB trading solution strategy. So one thing that we're going to look at, we are first going to look at what is happening in the bigger picture of GBP USD in order for us to be able to do what? To be able to understand our current movement. This is the bigger picture. We need to understand this whole movement. What is it that it's happening, right? In order for us to do what? To understand what we want to do at this particular movement, because this is our current movement. But this is the whole entire market movement, right? So it is very much important for us to look at the whole entire movement so that we can understand what really is happening at the current movement. So the first thing that we've got on GBPUSD, the market just turned from an area of interest. The market just did what? The market just turned from an area of interest. We just turned from an area of interest. I hope each and every one of you understand me when I say we just turned from an area of interest. How do we identify an area of interest? We have multiple touches. This was the first touch, and then this was the second touch, and then this was the third touch. And then this is our current fourth touch at that very same area. I don't know if you understand me or I'm speaking in parables. I will try to be slow as much as possible so that each and every one of you can definitely understand my point, right? I'm saying we are sitting at an area of interest. You guys need to understand one thing. An area of interest, it's an area where the market has been poking to that very same area multiple times, right? We've had how many touches from that very same area? We've had 1, 2, 3, 4. So the market has just turned from that area, looking at our current movement, right? The market was approaching that particular area. And as the market was approaching this particular area, they did what? They did a reversal at that particular area. Because why? We've seen previously the market has continuously been respecting this very same area of resistance. At the same time, this is an area of interest because we've had multiple touches from this very same area. Not just one touch, not just two touches, but multiple touches from the very same area, right? Which makes it what? It makes it one of the most strongest areas of interest. I'll show you one thing previously. So if you look at here previously, the market was moving in this particular zone, right? Sorry about that. Okay, the market was moving in this particular zone, right? I want you to see something. When the market broke out from this area, this is the previous movement. I don't know if you guys can see, right? Let's remove this. When the market broke out from this area, it did what? It retested and then it continued with the market structure. I don't know if you guys can see that, right? It broke, created it first lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then lower high, as you can see, right? So I'm trying to show you something. This was the area of interest that we had, which was the support area previously. So right now, we are currently trading on this current movement, right? So if the market were to break out of this area, we would see something like this. They will probably break and then come back and retest, and then they continue to go to the upside direction. But in this instant, that's not the case. They have failed to break out of this particular area, right? Now, since we are sitting at an area of interest, I want us to quickly go into this area, this particular area, so that we can be able to identify what really is happening in this particular area. So when you look at here, the first communication that we are getting from the market, it's what? It's the bearish engulfing, right? And then after this bearish engulfing, look at the high. Let's remove this line. Let's look at the high. This is the high, right? This is the high. The market do what? It creates, it gives us a bearish engulfing pattern. This is the bearish engulfing pattern, right? After it gave us this bearish engulfing pattern, the bulls came in and tried to push the price back into where it's coming from, but they dismally failed, right? This bullish candlestick, they dismally failed because why? They failed to go and trade above this higher high. Because if they could have went and trade above this high high, we would definitely say the market might continuously go to the upside direction, right? Then after this high, look at this. When the market then began to reject, they gave us what? They gave us a doji candlestick. That's the first candlestick that they gave us. After this doji candlestick, they did what? They gave us this bearish candlestick right here. When then now you combine the three candlestick, this 1, 2, 3, what is this candlestick pattern? Let me know on the comment section. What is this candlestick pattern? When we combine 1, 2, 3, what is this candlestick pattern? What pattern is this? So many of you are saying this is an evening star, right? Of which you are correct. We've got now we've got two body types of we've got two candlestick patterns where at an area of interest, at a resistance, we've got a bearish engulfing. What is the bearish engulfing symbolizes when it is formed in the market? What is the bearish engulfing symbolizes, or rather the formation that it gives us? It gives us the formation, what is going to happen. It gives us the formation that it's a reversal when it is formed at the end of an uptrend, right? Now, what is the formation of the evening star? What is the formation of the evening star? It's also a reversal. So we've got two types of candlestick patterns which speaks this very same language, where at an area of interest. At where? At an area of interest. Then and let's look at the market behavior, what has been happening previous. So each time the market get into this area, they reverse back. Each time they get into this area, they reverse back. Now, what are we looking at? We're looking at the market to reverse back, definitely. Now, I'm not going to just end there. I'm still going to continue to give you another factor of confluence. Here is another factor of confluence. We've got an uptrend, which the market was moving with. I'm going to try and make it as easy as possible, right? We've got an uptrend right here, right? Which the market has been creating some higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher lows, and then higher high. What do we expect next? We've got how many touches below? We've got 1, 2. we're expecting the third touch, right? We've got how many touches from the resistance? 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably let's leave this one and just use 1, 2, 3, right? So that it can be fair. Now, what are we expecting from this area? We're expecting a shift to this particular area. Now, the question, are we just expecting, or we already have some factors of confluence at this particular area that tells us that we are going down? Am I just anticipating or assuming, or we do have some factors of confluence that tells us that the market is most likely to come down? Let me know in the comment section. I'm reading your comment. Am I just speculating that the market must come back to this area since we have got 3 touches above and then 1, or we already have some factors of confluence at the top that the market must come back to this area? So we have some factors of confluence at this particular area, right? Now, I want you to look at this. Based on myself, this looks like an M pattern, although it looks like a double bottom. Although it's not that clear, but it looks like a double bottom if you can look at it closely. This. It looks like a double top. This is the neckline. It broke. Then we're coming back to retrace. Then we continue to go down. Right? Now, we're done with the monthly time frame. We found a lot of factors of confluence in order for us to look for some selling opportunities. Right? Let's go into, before we do that, I want us to look at the EMA. I want us to do what? I want us to look at the EMA before we do that. So you don't have to complicate anything, guys. Let's bring the EMA and see what the EMA say, right? The EMA is trading close to the market. But if you look at it all along, it was trading just around inside to show that this is sort of like a sideways trend movement, because the minute the EMA trades inside, it symbolizes what? The market that is most likely to be a sideways trend, although it's not a sideways trend, right? Now, let's move, but it's trading close to the market. Now, let's move into the daily time frame, to the weekly time frame. This is the weekly time frame, right? When we come to the weekly time frame, guys, I'm not going to focus on the whole entire movement, what has been happening. We all know what is happening. We are just trading out of the area of interest. We've had multiple touches. I've already emphasized that. My interest is right here. My interest is just right here. I'm more interested into the current movement than anything. Right? So this is an uptrend. We've had the first touch right here. We've had the second touch right here. Right? At the top, we've had the first touch, second touch, and then third touch from this area. And then this is the fourth touch. Reversing at the top, right? Now, you remember that WM pattern that I was talking about at the top? It looks more clear this side if you know what is an M pattern. If you look at here, it looks more clear this side. This is the area of interest, which is the neckline, right? Look at this. I want you to pay attention to this very closely. Look at this rejection. This rejection, where it rejected from, right? So it wanted to make you believe that this is not a double top. Let's look at this. You want to see what I'm talking about. Look at where they rejected from. They rejected exactly at the top. Right? Now, let's say for an example, this gap was filled. Remember, the job of the market makers is to make you believe that whatever that you are seeing is not the correct formation, right? This I can tell you this for free. This is an M pattern. This. The market came back to retrace, and then we continue to go to the downside direction. That's all. Right? I hope you guys can get my point, what I mean, right? This was an accumulation phase as well. As you can see, we've had what? We've had multiple candlesticks, which looks like it's very choppy. You know, in accumulation, it's also a choppy market, right? This was an accumulation phase as well. As I've already anticipated, that based on me, according to me, using my systematic BCB, this is an M pattern. This is a double top. They came back, they were reversing here to come back and retest before they go to the downside direction. That's all that they were trying to do, right? And don't forget that previously, when the market was moving, it left so many imbalances here. There's a lot of gaps that have been left unattendedly in these particular areas. If you don't know a gap, it's this is what we're talking about. It's when the market doesn't fill up these gaps. I don't consider shadows as filling up gaps, right? Now, since we are looking at this kind of situation, we want the market to do what? To come back and fill up all these gaps that they have created previously here, right? And then once we've got a double top as well, we want the market to do what? We want the market to come back and retest from the neckline before we have the next impulse. Right? So this is the neckline. After this W pattern, this is the neckline. They came back to retrace. We anticipate a push. We anticipate a push to the downside. Right? I'm going to bring the EMA again. Look at the EMA. That's another factor of conflict. It has just crossed exactly at the neckline. Right? Then the market did what after it crossed? It came back to interact with the EMA before we have what? The next impulse to the downside direction. So what are we looking at? I've already explained to you. This is what we want to see, right? The market has been trading between this movement. We want them to pull down to come back and touch into this area before we have our next impulse movement to the upside. That's all that I'm looking for on Gbpusd, right? We have more factors of confluence. Now, let's drop into the daily time frame and see what we can find. On the daily time frame, the first thing that I find interesting, it's an area of interest, right? We've got this area as an area of interest. We've had multiple touches at the very same area, right here. This is the first touch, second touch, third touch, right? Fourth touch, which attempted to, but they couldn't, right? The market broke out from that area. They did what? They broke out from that area. So what did they do? They traded out of this zone as they were coming from the top. Stay with me. I'm going to show you something. Right? Now, as they traded out of this area, if you bring your fib retracement, you hold it from here to here, you will see that where the market is starting to react at, it's 50%. Right? It's what? It's 50%. Where do we find the 50%? At an area of interest. This is the area of interest where the market has been touching into multiple times. I want to check something previously that we don't have the same touch on the very same area. We've had multiple touches. We do have. If you stretch it back, look at this. It comes as far as this area. Here's another touch. Here's another touch from the very same area. Here's another touch. Here's another touch. Here's another touch. Which makes it what? It makes it a strong area of interest. When I use the fib retracement, the market retraced at 50% retracement level. I meant to say 50% level. This is the 50% level, right? And the market has already started doing what? It has already started reacting at that particular area, as you can see. The market tried to push a little bit in. They close with a doji right there. If you look at it, which is the indecision, and then they doing what? They pulling down. Cool. Now, let's bring the EMA. The EMA is trading above. That's another factor of confluence, right? That's another factor of confluence. Where? Right here, where the where the Gbpusd is at. Right now, let's look at this. Previously, the market was trading in this zone, right here. Where they are turning at, it's also it doesn't correspond with this support. This is a diagonal support. So it's sort of like a breakout from this horizontal, from this diagonal support. Breakout, come back, retest from that area, then we continue to go down. It doesn't make sense? Let me remove this so that you guys can see it properly. I'm talking about this now. Let's forget about this area of interest. The market was moving on a downtrend here, right? Here. Right? The market was moving on a downtrend. Let me remove the EMA as well. I don't want to put too many things. The market was moving on a downtrend. This is the support area. This is a support area. The market did what? They broke out from that area. They did what? They broke out from that area. After breaking out, what happened? They came back to retest into that area before we have the next impulse to the downside. Right? Perfect. Let's move it into H4. When we get to H4, let me mark that area of interest on the daily time frame. This is the area of interest, right? This is the area of interest. Let's go back to H4. When we get to H4, my focus is going to be right here. I'm interested in finding a selling opportunity. I'm not interested in looking for where the market is going because I already understand what is it that is happening, right? I want to try and do this for you first so that you can still see what I was talking about. So this was the area that we were talking about, right? This is the area we were talking about. Where I said the market was doing what? Was trading on this particular area. They broke out, then they came back to retrace. Now, I'm more interested into this current area. I'm not interested into too many things. I'm more interested right here. I want you to see something, right? Look at this. We've had an inverse head and shoulder here. Here. We've had an inverse head and shoulder, a valid one. The market broke, came back to retrace and came back again and still failed. But look at this now. They went inside, right? This inverse head and shoulder didn't hold to show that there is some selling momentum in this particular area. It didn't what? It didn't hold. Now, when this inverse head and shoulder didn't hold, let's look at, we erase everything and look at the fact that at this particular area of interest, we've got some equal highs right here. Right? We've got what? We've got equal highs. After these equal highs, the market broke out. These are the equal highs. The market did what? Broke out, came back to retrace. Where are we going? We're anticipating a push to the downside from this particular area. Right? Let's bring the EMA. The EMA is trading above. That's another factor of confluence. The EMA is doing what? It's trading above. That's another factor of confluence at this particular area. We are looking at for some selling opportunity, right? Look at after this impulse. After this impulse move, the market did what? It gives us a doji candlestick at this particular area here. What does the doji candlestick mean? It means indecision. And this candlestick symbolizes what? A reversal when it is formed. What are we looking at? We're looking at the market to continue to go to the downside direction from this area, right? I know, man, it's not the right time to enter the market right now. I would say wait up until in the morning. First thing in the morning, look for some selling opportunity. This will be the right entry price right here. If you let them push a little bit down, when they break into this area here, they're going to break and retest, right? Because in terms of market structure, why am I saying they're going to break and retest? In terms of market structure, let me show you. So this is lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Then we want a new lower low and then lower high. And then they create what? A new lower low. So your job is to wait for them to break in this particular area that I've drawn right here. The minute they break out of this area, what are you going to look for? You're going to wait for them to pull back into this area. When they pull back into this area, you start looking for some selling opportunity. Right? Where are you going with the Gbpusd? This is where we're going. This is where we're going. I'll show you. I'm not going to repeat myself, right? It's either you catch it now or you're never going to catch it again. This is your first TP. This one. This is your second TP. Right? So the first TP, it's 1.29328. The first TP, right? This is the first TP. Don't say I didn't tell you. This is the first TP. This one. This is the first TP. If you didn't see it, right? The second TP is this one. This is the second TP. Just take a screenshot. This is the second TP, this number. I'm going to repeat this on the daily time frame so that you guys can understand it clearly. Why am I saying we are going down? Right? The market is rejecting from an area of interest. There is nothing complicated here, right? The market is doing what? It's rejecting from an area of interest. We've had the first touch, second touch, third touch. The market has broken out from this area of interest. After breaking out, they do what? They come back to retrace from that area. Where are we going? We're pulling to the downside direction, right? I applied the fib retracement here to find out where are we going, how far the market will pull down, will push down. I held the fib retracement from here up until to where they retest. That's how I got these TPs, right? As you can see, there is nothing complicated. We have broken out from the area of interest. The market went back to retrace. What are we anticipating? We're anticipating a continuation to the downside direction. Not only that, the EMA, it's also trading above, right? I also showed you something from here. I said the market had a mini support area here. Had what? A mini support area. Based on our systematic BCB trading strategy, when we've had such a mini support area, the market is most likely to do what? To break and retest in such areas. So the market did what? Let me remove this for a second. The market has been trading in this particular area, respecting this support. Finally, they broke out. When they broke out, what did they do? They came back to retrace, and then we continue to go down. Where are we retracing at? At an area of interest. What is it that is not clear right there, guys? Tell me. What is it that is not clear? That's it. That's Gbpusd. I'm looking for some selling opportunity on Gbpusd. Where are we going? We're going down here. On the bigger time frame, on the monthly time frame, right? We are riding on an uptrend. Right? We are riding on a downtrend. The very same area, TP that I've set, look at it. It corresponds with what we are looking for. That's it. We want to come to this area, right? Now, I'm going to leave this here, and then let's go back to daily. Isn't that line that I've drawn correspond with what we are looking for in terms of the TP? This is our last lower low. We want them to come back into this area. Lower high, I meant to say. This is where we want them to come back to. This is what we want them to come back into. That's how easy it is. There is nothing complicated. That was Gbpusd. I've done the market breakdown, top-down analysis using the systematic BCB trading solution. I've started from the monthly up until to the H4. So all you got to do, you look at the entry in the morning, right? You're looking at the entry in the morning. If we're going to look at the DXY, I'm not going to analyze the DXY. I'm just going to show you what I'm anticipating on DXY, right? This is DXY. This is the dollar index. Excuse. This is what I'm anticipating on the dollar index. They've been creating some high highs, high lows, high highs, high lows, high high, high lows. I want them to continue to go up. When they go up, the dollar gains momentum. What happens to the GU? Because the USD is the quote. This is the base and the quote. It has to go down. That's it. So let's look for some selling opportunity on Gbpusd. That's all I had for you for this evening. Can I love and leave you guys? Are you guys good? I've tried my best. The first time seeing someone use the DXY as an indicator as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Do make sure that if you're not part of our trading community, you go into my bio, you're going to find my contact details. Take those contact details and then you reach out to me. I'll add you on our trading community. I'm out, guys. Have a lovely morning. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. I might be up first thing in the morning and do a top analysis on Euro USD again because I'm holding trades on Euro USD, but I'm going to add more trade on GBP first thing in the morning. I'm going to add trades on GBP. I'm out, guys. Thank you so much. If you want to join our trading community, click the link in my bio. You're going to find my contact details right there. Reach out to me. And then on the green app, right? Reach out to me on the green app. I will add you on our trading community. I will add you on our trading community. Thank you so much, guys. Let me love and leave you. I'll see you. Cheers.
Very simple before you enter any trade, and it's to being a profitable trader. And you can imagine if you're one of these traders that after looking at the charts, you start thinking, is this true? I wondered why. Abang yang kita nak memilih, isono sabi babang titili. Sleepy off no melatonin. My therapist put in a 30-day notice because I keep on talking about beefing and business and putting the women. There's no diagnosis. They did it. God and I came every loaded. It's so heavy then, too heavy then. They got to finally show it. I'm over the moon. And we'll see you soon. I'm spitting my wind. I could come. I'm slowly trapping all of them. It's just throwing success in your face. Look, what they are, what they can do. What they are, what they can do.